we get a really important question asked to us often, and that is, if I get one of these hearing devices, is it going to whistle?
We get asked that a lot. I'm Dr. Ryan Whitaker here with my partner, Dr. Rich Lukengay. You know, this used to be a big problem. I remember I had a patient maybe 10 years ago. He came into the clinic. He was super nervous about people he'd seen with hearing aids whistling. He didn't want to be that guy embarrassed that his hearing aid was whistling all the time. So, well, what's up with that?
Yeah, why do they whistle? And like Dr. Whitaker said, about a decade ago or more, this was super prevalent. So one of the reasons why a hearing device may feedback, that's kind of a technical term, that whistle squelch sound, is because the fit is not right. And let's talk about one reason the fit may be wrong. It may not be that the device is bad or that the wire length is off or something. It may be that the ear canal that's supposed to be this long has become shortened with wax. And so as wax builds up in the canal, it changes the depth, the volume of the ear canal. And so the calibration of how the microphones talk to that little, I guess the loudspeaker in there, we call it a receiver, that little receiver piece that emits sound, it's supposed to have a little bit of a runway. And if it becomes shortened, it sends things out of phase and it can create feedback. So simple earwax, which you don't think you're waxy, you don't think that's a problem, but over time, the wax can build up a little bit and it can put your little hearing device into that feedback or that squelch or that whistle sound that nobody wants.
Yeah.
So, earwax.
If the fit's not right, if there's a little bit of wax, sometimes it's helpful to understand why it's happening. When the hearing aid is in your ear, the sound that should be reaching your eardrum, if it leaks back out of the ear canal, if it gets re-amplified by the microphones, we call this a feedback loop. That creates this whistle. So yeah, if there's some wax that it's reflecting off of, if it's just not fitting in the ear, sometimes it's just that the hearing aid isn't put in deep enough. Mm-hmm. Sometimes people will have the hearing aid barely in the ear, and instead of reaching that eardrum, it's just leaking back out and whistling. And so usually nowadays, hearing aids are really good at preventing feedback. In fact, it's hardly ever a problem anymore.
That's right. And so as Dr. Whitaker mentioned, the depth, having that tip deep in the canal, sometimes with jaw movements or laughing or just chewing food, the little tip, if it's not fit properly, it will back out a little bit more. Secondly, a lot of individuals are wearing these little devices that have small domes and they're so cute and small and you hardly feel them. That's what most of us want. But if you have a hearing loss that's too severe and it's walking down that graph that's really quite significant, we're needing to put more sound pressure into that ear canal. We're needing to turn up the sound so that that individual can hear more. And so those little tips aren't appropriate. And so sometimes if your hearing loss is this big, you probably need something that's a little bit more significant in the ear canal, something a little more appropriate for that type of hearing loss, not one of those little teeny tips. So the physical fit needs to be right. The tip size needs to be right. Let's keep that ear canal clean of earwax and you should be free of whistle feedback.
Yeah, I'd say if I could add one last comment, that question, if I get a hearing aid, is it going to whistle? The answer is probably not. We're really good nowadays with both the technology and the physical fit to prevent that from happening. Thank you for watching our video today. If you have any questions or if you'd like to reach out to us,
if you're interested in this, or maybe you have a loved one or someone you care about, probably needs some hearing help,
you can get a free consultation with either me or Dr. Lukengay.
You can call us anytime. Any of our doctors would love to return that call.
We'd love to talk with you over the phone or in person to answer any questions that you might have.